If you're having paranormal issues, contact us at mwghosthunters.com. From the files of the Midwest Ghost Hunters.
All right, Midwest Ghost Hunters site investigation, recorder 1.
Oh, Dustin, right there. Something just moved behind you.
Yes, it did.
What the was that?
What happened?
Something touched my ear, man.
What's that?
This is Dark Matter with Midwest Ghost Hunters.
If anybody listening, by the way, if you're a paranormal group anywhere near Boston or anywhere close, but I've been trying to help this guy. He lives in Hooksett, New Hampshire, 45 minutes north of Boston. If you know any group there that's active, will you please get in contact with us and let us know, because I'm having a hell of a time. It's the damnedest thing. When you go to the paranormal directory, 99 out of 100, it would have been just as easy to say 9 out of 10, but this sounds more dramatic. 99 out of 100 group sites you go to are no longer active. None of them are active.
You're almost more probably better just using Facebook and typing in Boston Paranormal.
I've Googled. I mean, there are, there's a couple in Boston I did get a hold of, but they're scheduled all the way through. But if you know of anybody, any group near New Hampshire, Hooksett, I think would be how you pronounce it, let us know, because I'm having a hell of a time finding one that could help a listener out. I don't know.
That poor guy still didn't have any help?
I can't find any.
Oh my gosh.
I can't find any. Police officer, I can't remember if he's retired or currently. Either way, he's wanting to prove that his house is not haunted, even though he kind of thinks it is.
And maybe have a group that's not full of psychics and mediums, because he's not on board with that.
No, he does not like all that.
I like this guy.
Actually, when I've talked to him, he reminds me a lot of that guy, Paul, the ATF guy in Mount Vernon. Wasn't that his name, Paul?
Yeah, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Sat in the chair in there when we were doing the investigation all night long.
Yeah. Didn't say a word.
You would forget Paul was even in the room.
And he'd be like, yeah, I hear that.
It scared the shit out of us. Yeah. Jesus. Oh, it's Paul. But I don't know. I can't even pretend.
That's where I heard the girl in the closet, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. Oh, I could play that.
Yeah, and that's when Dustin was worried that the guy, he was going to turn around and see the owner of the house behind him.
He was a super nice guy.
Yeah.
But he was retired. What was it, military
Law
or was it
enforcement
police?
of some
Police?
kind.
He had an ATF hat, but you can buy those. I remember it was hanging on the entertainment
But didn't
center.
we hear he was retired something?
Yes, he was military something. I don't remember what.
So I knew he had guns.
Yes, he did.
And then I think I hear a little girl in the closet.
Yeah, Dustin thinks he hears a little girl in the
I might
closet.
turn around and see a barrel pointed at me.
Well, and the worst part about that story would have been if Dustin would have seen that. I was in the other room with Paul, and I would have already been dead. So the story is actually worse than that, because had he gone after Dustin, he would have already gotten me. So it really could have been seriously bad.
See, from my perspective, that's a better story. If it goes after you first, so I can get out.
Well, not really, because if he's going to take me out, he's going to take you out too, so we both die.
Would you have haunted the house?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
No, you need to come here, so then I can be like...
here then.
Oh, but if you die now, you got to come here. So I can be like, hey, John, go up there and scare those people for me.
Remember to sell them a shirt.
I do want to say, though, real quick, that on my past couple tours, because it's been spring break, we had a lot of folks actually ask about the podcast, and I gave them the info. So if any of you guys came on my tour and you're listening, thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you.
I've wondered if there's any connection made between, people who listen and coming to do tours, but I wasn't quite sure how you'd ever track that.
I mention it every tour.
Very nice. I was looking through here. What I was doing here is trying to find that what Dustin was talking about down at that house in Mount Vernon. Before I really dig into these, I did want to say, if you do know of any group near New Hampshire or Boston, get in touch with us because this guy, his name's Ryan, and he would like some help up there. Little too far out of our range.
Jurisdiction.
Yeah.
We stopped just south of Boston.
Just south. He just missed it, man. But, we always tell people, no matter where you are, we can find help. But I'm having a hell of a time for this particular pocket of the country to find anybody. I guess talking about the police officer made us think about this guy in Mount Vernon. We did an investigation for a few years ago. He lived. Now, this was one of the most interesting historical researches we've ever done, was his house, because of where it was. Not only was it really, really close to the original tuberculosis hospital, but his house is directly across I'm not even going to say the street, but across a road from a cemetery. Now, that's not that big a deal really to us usually. However, once we did the historical lookup and found the old maps show the cemetery extended over to where his house is. And everybody knows a long time ago, whenever they were going to put a road through, all they would do is move the headstones. They didn't necessarily move the bodies.
That was a lot of expense.
So, I mean, it does clearly show on the old map that the cemetery once was where his house is now. We have no proof that they didn't.
Did we catch like coughing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
did. We did. That's one of the ones I was going to try to play here.
I think it was a little kid, wasn't it?
Yeah, and his little kid
coughing?
kept getting pushed down and stuff like that, like other little kids were running up and playing. It was like that there was another little kid playing with him or something.
But we did catch a lot of good EVPs there, and it was pouring rain that night. Remember, it was flooding. So at first we thought maybe these are, coming from outside, but it wouldn't have been coming from outside. Number one, a little kid at that time of night in the pouring rain would have made no sense.
That would have been just as creepy.
The original plan wasn't to delve necessarily into this investigation, but we can play the EVPs we caught because it was an interesting place. This was also back when we used the Frank's box a lot. Not a lot, but we used it. When nothing was happening, we'd bust out the Frank's box.
And for people that don't know it by that name, it's a spirit box.
Yeah, the spirit box, ghost box, whatever you want to call it. The thing that scans the radio frequencies. Some people live and die by them. They use them. We just don't use it anymore because one day during a podcast we were talking about that we wanted to eliminate all equipment that could possibly be something else. And with a spirit box or Frank's box,
What was that?
was that not you?
No.
Jesus Christ, that was loud.
Hang on, listen. It came from like right in there.
No, it did not. It came from back behind Melissa.
What was that? I cleared my throat. I didn't hear anything.
Did you hear it, Tyler?
Yeah, it was loud. I thought it was him.
I just.
Sound like
You were
does she have,
reacting to
does
me
she have like a
clearing my
pet
throat. I felt
bird
bad.
that just got murdered?
Was it you?
I cleared my throat. That's all I
Would it have been
do it
that?
again.
It was not. It was not
Repeat the throat clear.
like that.
No, that wasn't it.
It sounded more like a.
Yeah.
Did it sound like it had pointed ears?
It did.
I don't know.
And short.
rounded.
And short.
Brat, I'm gonna kill you.
No, she does not have a pet bird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. We'll have to listen back to that. I heard something for sure. I was certain it was John. That's why I didn't even react.
I feel like that's the first time in a couple weeks we've heard something loud here.
It's been a while.
I feel like it's been kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
Have you ever noticed that the thing with that always happens is if you add somebody new that comes on a regular basis, nothing happens for a while. It was when Tyler and Bobby started coming originally, nothing would happen. Every single time they were here, nothing would happen. And that went on for like a month, almost 2 months or so. And then all of a sudden we had that one podcast where it not only stuff happened, but that stuff jumped in and said, Tyler. Tyler. And then it said, where's Bobby? Where's Bobby? Remember that?
No, I don't remember
that?
Bobby one.
Tyler, how's Bobby or
I remember that.
Something
Yeah,
you
I
slowed it
remember
down,
that.
and then all of a sudden it was game on.
Yeah, I remember that because Tyler took that piece and
Right. And then what's happened here is that Hunter didn't used to come to these things ever. And now he's come, and then all of a sudden your activity plummets because you've got somebody new, and then it begins to ease back up again. That's the same thing that always happens.
well, we added Melissa too.
Right.
She didn't start out doing the podcast either.
Well, I'm sure she's probably used to hearing weird stuff.
Well,
like that
yeah,
at
but-
the castle.
I tune a lot
But
of it
even
out.
she said she was surprised at how
Yeah.
much it
Right.
happens.
Yeah, I listened to all the podcasts and I would hear stuff in the background and I was kind of like, why are they not reacting to it? And then the first time I heard it through my headphones here, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
See, when we were, there was something that happened that nobody could make it except for Chris and I. And we were here doing the podcast, and I remember looking over and seeing the chair that Melissa's sitting in right now, rocking back and forth.
I had seen it move earlier and didn't say anything because I thought maybe John had kicked it. And then we both saw it move again.
Yeah.
That chair right there that you're sitting in
But that's
this
what-
very moment.
That's what you see.
It'll never move with my bottom sitting.
You know what that kind of sounded like?
It's not going to move.
That you heard? You know what that kind of sounded like? What it kind of reminds me of?
Willard? The screech?
The pterodactyl.
The screechy, yeah.
Screech.
Well, we don't need him here.
No,
It was
we
just-
don't need that
It
here.
was just a baby one.
But you see that
This is where they harvest them.
on the podcast. That's what happened. And every time that we would add somebody different for a long time, it would come in. Because I remember when Bobby and Tyler would be here at first, you wouldn't hear anything ever. And then after that one podcast where all hell broke loose and it says, Tyler, and then it also says Bobby in the podcast. And it's the only time I ever remember names ever being called, that the spirits or whatever these things are, it had no problem with them.
Oh, speaking of names, I actually did find the video of Mr. Boots saying my name in the tunnel. I'll have to send it to you.
Yes.
That would be nice.
I'll just pull it up here.
It's going to take me a minute. Hold, please.
Okay.
talk amongst yourselves.
Did we talk about that at some point? I don't remember that it said your name.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while ago.
Does he call you Melissa, or does he have like a pet name for you, or what's
No, he calls me Melissa.
Okay.
If he has a pet name, he's fired.
He's very respectful.
He's got to go somewhere else.
Shit.
The personalized stuff. Yeah, no, it's weird.
How did you
I
like
don't
being in the
want that.
basement by yourself a couple weeks ago
That was all right.
when we were moving stuff?
Well,
Oh yeah.
1 minute.
He was down there by
He did
himself.
not
Well,
like
1
it.
second Tamara's there, and then I turn around. I'm literally mid-sentence talking, and she's gone.
Well,
she pulled a Batman on you?
so
Dustin wouldn't know because Dustin seems to miss all the heavy lifting
Yes,
days.
he does.
after we finished the podcast a week or two ago, Tamara, the owner of the castle, asked if we would help her move an air conditioning unit.
commercial
I
air
said no
conditioning
and
unit?
laughed.
It was a big ass air conditioning unit. I mean, when we say window unit, I didn't even want to say that because you picture a little window unit. This thing's big. It's like a fridge. But Tyler got in the basement. I just heard something.
I did too.
I heard something too.
I didn't hear.
I heard like a man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it sound like it said, yeah?
No, it wasn't
No,
a whisper.
it wasn't a whisper. It was like a deep.
We'll have to make sure it wasn't. I don't know what that was,
don't
but I heard
think
a dude.
It wasn't any of us over here.
But anyway, we were pushing that big window unit into this window, and Tyler crawled into the window so he could be in there to, receive and put it into position. So he was in the basement by himself down there. I don't think anything happened while you're down there, but it's just freaky to be down there, especially when it was probably dark in there, wasn't it?
It was during the day.
Oh, a little.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that dark.
I didn't see you in there.
Been here during the day multiple times. It's not that dark down there.
Have you found the Dustin audio?
No.
Yeah, I've got that. We can go ahead and play that.
Yeah,
Let's
go ahead and play
and-
the Dustin
Yeah, go
audio
ahead.
while
It's
she's
Dustin
working.
audio.
Well,
The
we
little-
were talking
little
about
kid.
Mount Vernon a minute ago. That's where that's the road we were traveling down, and then we got kind
the
of sidetracked.
closet?
I think this is it. I can't remember which one's which, but I'll just play it.
Oh, what was that? What? What's this? Did you hear that?
Okay, I'm gonna.
That's not the same one.
That's
I was
not the
thinking
one.
of.
No, it's not
But
the one.
It is like still.
It is one.
like
Did you
a
hear it at the beginning
little
there?
Girl. Yeah.
Okay. So that one was one. See, I can't tell by the names which one is which. I can't tell. Let's go ahead and play the next one here.
Here, hang on. Let's rewind the tape. Here, I have it on my phone too. Yeah, rewind it. Right there. Here. You do it. Slide it. Is it still recording? Yeah. Just press. How do I back it up? I don't know. I've never done that. Well, here, hang on. We'll go into the last record. Here's what you do. Just back it up about a minute.
Okay, let's try this again here. Anybody in here?
That was at 8:45.
Justin Bieber, yeah.
I'll turn glasses in here so they can do shooting. And then here, if you want to skip, you just do touch.
So, all right, hang on. So uncomfortable. I'm going to let it keep going. This is us listening to an EVP. This is an EVP of us listening to an EVP. It's coming. I don't know why this whole thing is in there. Look at it. Here, let me go forward.
Did you hear it?
Yes. There.
Okay.
I heard it. Hold on, Ash. What is that?
That's not it. That's not the one.
Did you hear it? Yes.
Hang on. Let me do it again.
Did you hear it?
I hear it.
Okay,
But I hear us.
I hear us listening to it.
Where's the original?
That's what I'm looking for. Why can't I find it?
Which one of you guys said rewind the tape?
I don't know.
That dates you pretty good. How do you rewind the tape?
I don't know.
Page me when you get it rewound.
We've got one more EVP from this place. I believe this is the coughing.
Oh, we got recorders all over the place. There's one right there. There's one down there, and there's one right here.
So there was the very
Sounds
obvious
like
coughing
a
sound.
sickly cough.
Holy, dude.
I don't like that. That makes me sad.
What's a TB cough sound like? Is it dry?
I don't know.
We had a 14-year-old girl here die from tuberculosis.
I mean, tuberculosis is kind of known for, don't you kind of drown?
Yeah, I think so.
It seems like it'd be wet, but I don't know. That sounded dry, and the ears sounded rounded.
Yeah, normal ears.
Disconnected lobes. Those were there were actually there were a bunch of EVPs from this one. I got rid of all the spirit box ones, but I missed one. The one you're talking about, your favorite one, probably of all time. I missed it. I'll need to pull it back over. Sitting here, I could work
I just
around.
like it because I was like closest to the closet at the time, and I just heard it.
I mean, we've
Like,
got
I
an
heard it
EVP
so clearly.
We've got an EVP of us playing the EVP.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
It was nice and long.
EVP-ception.
Nice and long. That was back whenever we used to put this big audio segments on there to show, that they were untampered with.
Even though that doesn't really
It doesn't eliminate the possibility for tampering at all. So I don't know.
We could just be doing really long tampering videos.
We weren't, but yes, that possibility still exists. So anyway, if you wanted to check out that investigation, it's on the website mwghosthunters.com, and click on the investigations page, and it's the Paul's house in Mount Vernon. It's the only Mount Vernon investigation I think we've ever done, but it's there. And I'll go ahead and get that other link found and stick it on there. I can't believe I missed that. I think as I was pulling these over, I thought the one that I put in and the original were duplicate, but it turns out it's not at all. So I'll get that fixed. So we do have some investigations we're going to do coming up. We do have someone who's emailed us about doing a house. I'll have to refresh myself on it, on what they have going on, but they've emailed asking, we got a lot of, pre-work to do before we actually go in and do anything, there. And then we've got the bridal place in Buffalo we're going to go back up to. Been in contact with them. We could really do that one any old time, and it's going to happen this spring pretty soon. And then, there's a bunch of stuff we could do. I mean, like we could go to Ashley's. We could go to the cemetery. We could do all that stuff. But we do
Once it's summertime and schedules slow down just a little bit, for me anyway.
It gets easier. Yeah.
I think we need to do the cemetery before the middle of summer.
Well, we'll have to, because the bugs get so damn loud you can't hear anything. Yeah, I agree. Because when we went, it was his birthday.
Whose birthday?
Hunter's. When the three of us went out there, remember we'd been at the Crane Pool that day for your birthday.
Yeah.
That night we went out into the woods and went to the cemetery. That was it was summertime. It was hot. And there were so many bugs out there, you couldn't hardly hear anything. So it would be better to go out there before they get cranked up.
And we already hear bugs too, so frogs.
Yeah, I know. They've already started. But these were like those cicadas and the summer hot weather bugs, if we could avoid those. So Melissa has audio. Is it a video or an audio?
Well, it's video.
It's a video
but you can hear him say my name on it.
Of the shadow figure, which we captured in the basement. We actually captured it on video, saying her name at some point. How long ago was that?
Right after I started here, so 2018.
Okay. We're going to play the audio part. Now, Melissa, you may have to, I don't know how long this is.
10 seconds.
Oh, it's short. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this now. Again, this is from the
tunnel.
The tunnel here at Pythian Castle. Oh. I heard it.
It's real hard to hear.
I did hear it, though. It's three syllables.
Yeah, it's real hard to catch.
Let me play it again. Right there. It does sound like it says your name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear Melissa. I just hear. Ooh.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I can for whatever reason I can hear that. I can
play
do it again.
Play the Melissa again.
Right there. I hear it plain as day.
I might hear for sure.
Here, let me do it. Let me go to. I'm at that spot. Let me play it again. Right there. You hear it?
No. I hear something, but I can't make out what it says.
I'll have to see if I can get. I know there's another video of him saying it. I just got to find it.
It's right here. Oh, I don't know. I hear what sounds like it to me. Usually, I can't hear that kind of stuff.
Dustin, can you hear that?
I can hear something.
I hear.
I don't know what it's saying.
Bobby?
I hear like moo.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Hunter?
I hear the same thing.
Okay. Just for giggles. Ty?
Can't hear shit.
Okay.
Okay, so we can maybe enhance that one a little bit. Dustin, you were talking about you've been studying up on.
What? What do you
Havana syndrome.
I was just asking you off the air if you've ever heard it.
And I have, but I had to look it up to remember what it is. It's Havana syndrome. Maybe we can delve into that next time.
Have you ever heard of this?
What is it?
What is it?
Well, it's
This whole thing. You have to go
Dustin's
back.
the one who knows
I have to give
everything
you a
about
history
it.
lesson on United States-Cuba relations before I can really get into it.
Got plenty of time.
Well, here, I've got some of it. Havana syndrome, it's idiopathic symptoms experienced by U.S. government officials and military personnel. They range from pain and ringing in the ears to cognitive dysfunction, and were first reported in 2016.
Yeah, this was after the
This
embassy.
is not what I was thinking.
This was after the embassy opened back up in Cuba.
Oh.
And they've also experienced it. Diplomats have talked about the same symptoms, like after visiting China and Russia. Russia, it's been confirmed that they used to point like microwave.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say.
Stuff
is
at the embassy
You're
in
probably
Moscow.
dealing with some sort of spying,
some listening
after
device.
effects.
I mean, it could be, but a lot of people think it's just like microwave weapons, which would
Right, that's what I'm
But it's
seeing
crazy
here.
that it's happened so many different places, and
See,
like you never hear about
And
it.
apparently, there's been numerous previous microwave attacks on embassies before.
And there's been recent United States diplomats who have come back and said that they have Havana syndrome.
See, I don't think it's.
And that's the only thing they can describe it as, because it's like this weird thing that can't be explained.
I'm going to bet you it has more to do with something that they're doing to spy on the embassy or something, some sort of spying thing. But
Maybe.
that's just me.
Maybe. But
Well,
it
scientists in Canada are looking into it as maybe a chemical attack of some kind.
yeah, because there's also been a thought of that as well, like putting something in the water at these places. But I don't know.
That is
They
not
get
what I was.
separate water than the rest of the.
It's like a huge rabbit hole you could go down.
The embassy would
Anybody's
probably have
interested
its
in it.
own source. They wouldn't use municipal water in Cuba, I doubt. That's
They-
not
they-
what I was
they
thinking.
get like headaches. They hear noises.
They have,
which is
hallucinations.
what made me kind of make the connection to like what we do here, because
And-
hearing noises and stuff is kind of what we do.
And
So-
and they talk about people with pre-existing psychological issues have exacerbated symptoms.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. I've heard about some people that have like basically like brain damage.
Well, they've had complete loss of movement, hearing, and unable to concentrate. That's weird. This is not what I was thinking.
And if you look at like these type of weapons, they do exist. They've been confirmed. Like
Sure.
these weapons that they it's described as being able to be like non-lethal way to like isolate people or like basically stun them and not make them worth anything. Like you could do this kind of thing if you ever had like a riot or something. Right.
Yeah, I would.
Like a huge group of people. It's talked about in like the official like release of the forums. Like you could do it for an individual or a group of people could experience the same thing.
Well,
There was
they may
one
have done
diplomat in China that got sick. Her dogs got sick. Her mom came to take care of her, so flew over to China. The mom got sick, and they all had to come back.
Now, after they leave, do the symptoms go away? Or does
I
it
have no
persist?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like they persist. There's actually a news article on NBC News from just a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, they've been talking about it recently.
This
too.
is new. When I saw 2016, I was like, wait a minute. What I was thinking of was something else. That's not this at
It's the
all.
same set of symptoms as like been reported since like I said, 2016 or so.
So the NBC News article is Havana syndrome symptoms most likely caused by directed energy, which is what we were just talking about. But I didn't know they had actually had experts say.
But it's interesting making that connection because directed energy can cause them to hear things.
Yeah.
And then,
We know high EMF. Can
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say is that kind of energy, that affects your brain, different people in different ways. People who are sensitive to EMF energy. You've heard that term probably fear cage before. That's when you're surrounded by high amounts of EMF. In some people, it makes them have auditory, tactile, visual hallucinations.
Yeah, they described a lot of the things they heard was that sounded like cicadas or grasshoppers, but just a constant loud droning sound.
What were you gonna say?
That's why those ghost shows like that stupid helmet.
The pasta strainer?
Yeah, it pumps EMF into their heads, and then they start seeing stuff.
Well, they should just stick their head in a microwave instead.
But nobody wants to sit and watch someone have hallucinations. I mean,
because you don't know if it's real.
Well, you're giving yourself hallucinations. Yeah, at that point, I mean, that's.
I can't take any group seriously.
Might as well just
that
take
uses
some
that.
LSD.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the
Well, I
other
mean,
day.
there's like. There are like EMF pumps, that exist that some investigators use to try to increase the amount of energy in the atmosphere when they're doing an investigation. But they're not cranking it into their cerebellum.
I want that straight in my brain.
All right, here's what we need. We're going to need a chair. We're going to need some ping pong balls cut in half, pasta strainer, and a big bag of mushrooms. And I'll rig something up for you guys.
Let's get a MacGyver one.
That's Tyler's favorite weekend right
I'll
there.
have you guys, next time we do a public overnight investigation, if a certain someone's going to be here, I'll have you guys come.
Well, yeah.
Maybe he'll let you wear it.
Did you get all that, Chris? Write that down for Christmas for Tyler. Bag of ping pong balls.
Cut in half.
Cut in half.
Mushrooms.
A bag.
Anyway, well, we're making fun of someone. There's probably multiple people out there.
There are, but this particular one makes his own.
Yeah, homemade devices that he won't let anybody else use. No, it works. Trust me, it works.
I can make you one.
Oh, no.
2.5 minutes.
The,
that
the guy on 28 Days wore one of the ones he made.
That was the worst show I've ever watched. The stupid Netflix show.
I didn't finish it.
Where's your mic, Bobby? You just hanging out?
What'd you say?
We can't hear you. But they did use something on 20. Did they put it on their head?
Yeah, it was the big guy.
The guy that had the heart attack.
Yes, he wore it.
That was the dumbest show ever.
Did he have a heart attack during an investigation?
Yeah, and it was spirit. It caused by a spirit, not because he was 365 pounds.
Is that what the doctor told him?
And going upstairs. It was a spiritual attack.
And he started getting
You're going to
angry.
die if you don't stay away from these spirits.
But then here's
Did
the
he
dumbest
really have
thing.
a real heart attack?
Yes, he did.
know.
And he went. Who knows? He went to the hospital. And then he came back, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I was there. I shook it off, and it's gone." And then the show ends.
Well, then he didn't have a heart attack.
No, he had a heart attack.
And then you just come back like the same day?
Yeah, easy peasy.
Nothing to it. I don't know. I was by this point I was so hating the show. I don't even remember. An ambulance picked him up and took him, to the hospital. And then the next day he comes back leading up to the heart attack, he was doing the Zach Bagans possessed thing.
Yeah, he got angry.
Yeah, he was getting angry and punching the walls and, doing that kind of stuff. And then the heart attack, I guess, was the spirit leaving his.
I had such high hopes for that
it's
show.
dumb. It's dumb.
I had such high hopes.
I did too because Netflix
the
usually.
Warrens,
Netflix usually does their production are usually pretty good. They had never really tiptoed into paranormal, and they should tiptoe right back out
Yeah.
because it was terrible. It was awful.
It was not good.
It was not worth your time.
And then the show just kind of ends.
I think they're going to have a second season. So
They gotta have different people. Those
We'll have
people
to
were
watch.
so uninteresting.
have to watch.
Uninteresting.
Except for the fake psychic. Remember?
Yes.
The fake one.
Oh God.
They got called out by the ghost.
Yes. They're all
fake.
Now, am I thinking of the same? Am I thinking of the same show? Is that where the name or something was written on a mirror?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they accused him of faking it.
Yes, and then supposedly the ghost came through the spirit box and said that it was.
He's a fraud.
Yeah.
That really is what happened.
It is what happened.
That is what happened. They got an EVP leading them to believe that a spirit told them that this guy was faking everything.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest show I've ever seen, is what I'll say.
It's pretty ridiculous.
And I think it's still available on Netflix, too. So
I'm sure there'll be another season.
if you want a good laugh, it'll probably come out in October or something.
I'm sure.
We also, before we go, I did want to mention we do have the podcast merchandise on the website, too. mwghosthunters.com. I think you click on shop and it'll be
I have a great idea for a new T-shirt.
better than the Ghosters.
Yeah,
What?
Team Snap.
Oh shit.
We can have people on Dustin and I's team. Team Snap.
We're not making Team Snap shirts.
Dustin and I need one. We can wear it to investigations.
That's all we got. We'll come back next week.
More Dark Matter on the way next week with Midwest Ghost Hunters.